he's never explicitly said the reasons why. Many people see it as because of the failures of the army in last year's war, but he has yet to really give a specific reason for their dismissal. But it's the perception is that because of the failures of the war last year. There's obviously a lot of push and pull about what the reasons were. Some people were saying that this was what triggered this call. I mean, he asked him to be dismissed, which was followed by a press release by the chief of staff of the army and the deputy and some other people in their office asking for the resignation of the prime minister, which sort of was the genesis of the current crisis, which is a crisis that's been going on since the end of the war in November. So that's sort of the background for this. Not all of this is frankly exceptionally clear because not everyone is really saying the reasons that they took the moves that they did and what their explicit reasons were. I think in the short run, there's the specific issue of this particular dismissal. The way the constitutional system works, the president has 72 hours to either sign these dismissals or to reject them. And at that point, the prime minister can go back and resend these dismissals, which he did again this morning. So this will trigger another timeline in which for him to make this decision. But ultimately, what is necessary to break this political stalemate is what everyone perceives to be, the key in sort of ending this political crisis, which is to trigger another election this year that will essentially move this disputes and this struggle from the streets into the ballot box. So the voters will actually have a say, and it will be the first time since the war where they'll get to decide. I think the primary push right now is really, this somehow dispute has actually become a continuation of the revolution because the defeat in the war and the current political crisis is being used by elements in the former government to try to come back to power because they see it as something that's delegitimized the current government. So I think if there are elections, you will see which side people are on. And if I was to, just from everything that I've seen, the most likely scenario is that the current government will win that election, except it will not win it with the majorities that they did in December of 2018. They will likely come back to power, but probably in a coalition government with other parties and with far smaller majorities. Because I think if there's one consensus in this society, and what I mean by consensus is something in the 80th percentile, is that no matter how disappointed people are in the defeat in the war or with this current government, what they are united on is they do not want that old regime to reassert itself. That is perceived to be a greater danger than whatever issues of competence they see in the current government.